Did you know 3 years ago on my 27th birthday, I celebrated alone with no friends? I got subpar lash extensions, got sushi with my then boyfriend, now ex, and my friend group really fell apart during COVID. People moved away, focused on their romantic relationships or their career. I felt like an awkward loner with no friends. Fast forward to my 29th birthday last year, I celebrated in a room full of friends. It was pink, Barbie karaoke themed. And in the last year, I've done so many nights in, nights out, craft nights, girl gang, reconnected with old friends, made new friends. And if I can do that in my late 20s, you can grow your social confidence and make friends too. Stay tuned to hear how I did this. In my early 20s, I had a scarcity mindset when it came to friendship. I knew there were so many studies showing that people lost friends as they aged because people moved away, prioritized different things, got busy with work, and I just felt like I had to accept that at 27 that I didn't have that many friends. But this all changed at the end of my last long-term relationship where I was in my healing and scarcity abundance mindset era. My friendships really started to shift when I truly saw the joy and meaningfulness of building all these connections, friendships, and community. In my scarcity mindset era, I had beliefs like it is hard to make friends, I'm only going to lose friends as I age, when people get into relationships, I'm not going to prioritize our friendship anymore, and I have to hold on to all my friends even if it's not healthy or serving me anymore. And I didn't value making any additional friends. I had 2 or 3 friends and I was like, you know what, that's good enough. I'm gonna focus on my career, my relationship, etc. I don't need more friends. And because of those beliefs, I was scared of reaching out, making new friends. I was scared of being hurt, and I just didn't fully see the value of female friendship and community. Fast forward to my abundance mindset. Now I believe it's never too late to make friends. There are so many people out there to connect with. There are so many things I can learn, and I have so much to offer in a friendship. Plus, friendships are really enriching, and I can let go of old friendships or friendships that don't serve me anymore. Because of my abundance mindset with friendship, I have a better energy when making friends. I'm not coming at them with this scarcity like, oh, will you be friends with me? Am I cool? Am I not cool? I better hang on to this friendship. I'm not coming at them with this energy anymore. And it's way easier to deal with rejection with this abundance mindset. There are so many people out there who are excited to meet you. Let's talk about laying the foundation to develop and cultivate your friendships. The first step is embrace how interesting you are and try new things. If you're an interesting person, it'll be so easy to have conversations about certain topics and make plans based on your interests or your shared interests. If you have no interest right now, don't worry. Think about what topics do you like when you scroll on social media? What do you talk to your friends, or what posts on Reddit or social media are you gravitated towards? What shows do you watch? And if you don't do anything, this is the time to invest in yourself, date in yourself, and go out there and try everything that the world and your city or wherever you are has to offer. It could be rock climbing, cooking class, walking to a new neighborhood, trying new cafes, hang out in the library, anything at all. So I'm going to give specific examples that I've tried in the last 2 years. So I started a monthly virtual book club with a coworker. We knew we had the same interests in books, and she invited one of her best friends. I also organized Shiba Inu meetups with dog owners in my neighborhood. I've been a mentor and a member with Monday Girl. It's a community of women who are focused on professional development, and I've met like-minded people at these events. I also reconnected with a college friend that I haven't seen or talked to in 7 years, and we even went to a 50 Cent concert and hung out multiple times afterwards. And then that coworker's friend from my book club, I found out she liked thrift shopping. So I connected her with another one of my friends who liked thrift shopping and brunch, who doesn't like brunch. We all grabbed brunch and then went thrifting together afterwards. My next tip is to start things off light. Making friends is kind of like dating. The first time you meet, it might be a bunch of small talk like, hey, how's your day going? For example, if you meet a friend because you go to the dog park every day, you might start off with small talk like, how often do you come to the dog park? What kind of dog do you have? What's your dog like? What interested you in getting a dog? There's all sorts of questions you can start off with. And then once you get that small talk going and you see this person a couple of times, or even that one time, you can branch off and ask for a light kind of hangout. Maybe it's coffee, maybe it's going on a walk, maybe it's just lingering after and having a longer conversation. Whatever that is, keep it light. And I'll give you some examples of how I met my friends gradually. So meet my friends Nancy and Brenda. I love the story of how we met. During COVID, one of my best high school friends, her name is Susan, invited me to a weekly Among Us game with her medical school friends. And every Sunday, I dialed in to this Zoom call and I played Among Us. One of these lovely people, her name is Nancy. So we played as virtual friends for a whole year, and then we decided to meet up for coffee in the city that we live in. And fast forward a year later, she invited me to her birthday party, which I really dreaded and had so much anxiety going to because I knew it was all people who went to her medical school. So I didn't have that much in common with them. I was dreading like, oh my God, they're all going to talk about these topics I know nothing about. But I met one of my best friends there because she was the only other person who was not in medical school. And then after the three of us met at this birthday, we decided to hang out for dinner. And there we bonded over our toxic Asian parents. Love the some light trauma bonding. And since then, we've done rug tufting, more dinners, PowerPoint nights, etc. So don't rush when trying to make friends. It's a very gradual process. Another story I want to share is about my friendships at the dog park. I've been going to the same dog park for days, weeks, months with my dog, and I met a group of girls there. So usually we do some light small talk. We talk about their day, ask how their dog's doing. We just hang out there. But eventually, after multiple months of meeting them, we went on hot girl dog walks where we walked 3 hours all over the city. We get coffee with our dogs, and then we even did a non-dog event with all of the girls going out for drinks. Joining networking groups and cold outreaches is also a great way to make friends if you don't know anyone in your city. I personally tried this. I joined a networking group called Monday Girl where I met new friends, reconnected with old friends at their networking event. It would start off with meeting someone new at a networking event, making some small talk about what they do, what they're interested in, how long they've lived in the city, what interests they have in the city, what's their favorite thing to do, restaurants, etc. And then asking them out for coffee to catch up or talk more at a later point. Cold calls is also something you can do that's not just for work, but also for friends. There's someone I followed on Instagram who followed me back for years and years, and she did a lot of cool stuff. She did travel, yoga, meditation, and I just reached out to her. I was like, hey, I love all the things that you're doing. You're doing a lot of interesting things. I'm super curious about learning about your meditation journey, your yoga journey. Would you be interested in grabbing a coffee at some point in the next 2 to 3 weeks? And she said yes. So we grabbed a coffee and that was great. Now that you've laid the groundwork with joining a variety of interest groups, making small plans, reaching out, the next step is continuing to take initiative. I used to be so scared of reaching out and making plans because I was afraid of being rejected. I was afraid they didn't want to hang out with me or didn't like my hangout idea. And I still feel that way sometimes. It takes a lot of practice getting comfortable with reaching out and making plans with people. But I want to assure you, even though on TikTok or Instagram it looks like everyone's always traveling, always going on dates, always getting dinner with their friends, I can assure you most people are doing nothing and sitting at home scrolling on their phones or watching Netflix. And these people would love to be invited out to get coffee, grab a drink, go on a walk, etc. It's really important to have no ego. Early on when trying to make friends, I would take rejection so personally. Once I asked someone to go to a sauna class with me and she didn't want to, and I was like, oh my God, she thinks I'm weird. I like doing these sauna classes and she's never gonna reach out to me again. And you know what? We never end up connecting again, but that's okay because there's so many other people who would share my interests. Again, abundance mindset. If you get rejected, it's okay because similar to dating advice, there's so many fish in the sea, so many people you can be friends with. It's about finding those people who are interested in your interests or curious about what you're interested in. And sometimes people are just genuinely busy. They might take a long time to respond. So remember, don't take it personally. Now, if you're not sure what to do other than like coffee, walks, getting a drink or something, look on TikTok for ideas. I look at girl hangs or ideas to do in my city all the time. And in the last year, I hosted a Galentine's that was completely pink themed. I hosted craft nights where we painted things, made bracelets, made keychains like this one here I made at a craft night that I hosted. I also had board game nights, clothing swaps, and I went on a lovely vacation with my girlfriends as well. There are so many ideas out there and people to meet. Don't be afraid of taking that first step. Remember, no ego. And lastly, in terms of taking the initiative, cast a wide net. Sometimes you may not know that many people, but last year I had about 500 Instagram followers and I wanted to go see this music festival called Lovers and Friends because they had Usher, they had like Christina Aguilera, Backstreet Boys, a really sick lineup, but I didn't know who else was interested in this kind of music. So I posted on my Instagram friends, hey, does anyone want to go see Lovers and Friends with me? And one of my Instagram friends was like, yeah, I'm totally down. We didn't end up going because the hidden fees were ridiculous, but I found out she lived in Vegas and then we went on a lovely hike the next time I was in Vegas and now we've been friends ever since. Also, I asked my friends last year if anyone was interested in doing an abstract art class and one of my dog park girlfriends was interested, so we did that and I also organized a clothing swap. There's so much. Don't be afraid to put your intentions out there. If no one responds, that's also okay. You can also do it by yourself. So after laying the foundation, joining interest groups, and then taking the initiative to make plans and forgetting about your ego and focusing on the abundance mindset, now we can connect on a deeper level with those friends that we've made. My first tip about this is emotional intelligence. Think about if you would want to be close friends with you. Empathy, vulnerability, compassion, and openness are all amazing traits to cultivate within yourself and to look for in other friends. You don't have to start out with any of these traits. I personally didn't. I was a terrible listener and I'm still working on that. But it's so great to focus on these things so you can grow and become that friend that you wish you had. Personally, I went to therapy after my long-term relationship ended in my 20s, and I worked a lot on my vulnerability. Before, I was really scared to share details about myself because I've been burned in the past when I was in high school with drama, etc. And I was scared of opening up. I felt anxious. I was afraid of being rejected. But I worked on myself in therapy. And one thing I recommend is Brené Brown. Her book, Daring Greatly, has inspired me to continue to open up and build connections and community, even though it's scary as hell. I also love this podcast called How to Talk to People by The Atlantic. It's a short series covering small talk, community, friendships, a great binge listen. Another important concept of friendships is making bids for connection. So one reason adults lose friends as they age is because they're afraid of getting hurt. As people grow older, they become more cautious about forming new friends and investing their time. And this fear of commitment and vulnerability can really prevent adults from making friends. And this is literally what I faced when I was in my late 20s. When I was 27, I was like, why would I invest my time and energy into these people if they're just going to move away, if they're just going to get a boyfriend and drop off the face of the planet, etc. But abundance mindset, forming deep and meaningful connections, or even friends that are just there for a season are great experiences. For example, I knew one of my coworkers for 6 years, but we never had a really deep connection or friendship. We never hung out one-on-one. We just go to group events together. But I opened up to her about my breakup 5 years ago. She invited me over. We connected one-on-one and both talked about our past relationship issues. And we've been close ever since. So opening up and making a bid for connection can be scary, but it can also be really rewarding. And on the flip side, if someone comes to you, make space for them, listen to them, and lend some compassionate energy. It's really important to remember that building friendship takes time and energy. Be kind on yourself if sometimes you have ups and downs with your journey to build friendships. And it's okay if some friendships are short-lived just for a season or if they don't work out in the end. Overall, making friends and building strange social confidence, it is a skill. And with all skills, it takes practice, practice, practice. So just to recap the advice I talked about today for forming new friendships in your 20s and as an adult, first is laying the foundation. Embrace old interests, try new interests, and you also want to start things light. It's like dating, gradually build up from small talk to hanging out separately. And then also don't be afraid of cold calls and joining networking or community groups to meet friends. Next, we have taking the initiative once you've met people. You have to make plans and don't let your ego get in the way of you making plans. It can feel scary to reach out, but rejection is okay. You will survive. There are plenty of people out there who would love to meet you, so keep trying. Also, cast a wide net when you're looking for things to do. Don't be afraid to ask multiple people. Next is connecting on a deeper level. Remember, emotional intelligence. Cultivate those traits within yourself that you would want in a friend. And make bids for connection. It can be scary to open up, but it's very rewarding when you do so. And if you remember anything from this video, remember abundance mindset. When you're stuck in that scarcity mindset and you believe making friends is hard, it will be hard because your energy is going to be different making friends and approaching friendships. If you believe making friends is easy and there's so many people out there who are interested in meeting you, who share your interests, who you want to learn from, you will find those people. So good luck out there. I hope this video inspires some of you or helps some of you to form lovely long-term friendships. If you're interested in learning about how to grow your inner confidence, watch this video next.